There are governments, both authoritarian and genuinely democratic, who are now united in a conviction that they need a much greater level of surveillance of their populations. Now, at the moment, it's about public health, but it could be about other things in the future. But what they want, in your phrase, is to get under the skin of their population so that they're surveilling them in the most profound ways, from body temperature to all sorts of other physical data, which automatically is going to be recorded. Everything from their movements to their breath is going to be recorded. Is that, in your view, taking the historical perspective, a power that we should right now be happy to invest in our government?
Well, I'm not against surveillance per se. I think it's a very important technological tool that can help humanity fight against this epidemic and against future epidemics, and we need to use it. But we need to use it responsibly and carefully so we don't end up losing our freedoms in order to get protection from epidemics. There is a huge danger of the rise of totalitarian regimes worse than anything we have seen before. In the 20th century, you had totalitarian regime that monitored what people were doing, but they couldn't go under the skin and monitor what people were actually feeling and thinking. This was absolutely impossible. They didn't have the technology or the computing power to analyze all the data. Now, for the first time in history, it is becoming feasible to monitor everybody all the time, and not just what we do, but even what we feel. You know, we have been hearing for many years about the rise of this surveillance, but most people still focus on what you can call over-the-skin surveillance. What you do, not what happens inside your body. Like, we already know that corporations and governments can know that you are now watching this show. And they can, if you watch BBC How Talk, they can deduce from that all kinds of things about your political views, about your artistic tastes, even about your personality. But this is still limited. They don't know yet what you're actually feeling as you're watching us. Do you think that I'm talking nonsense? Do you think that I'm correct and you're becoming very afraid? Are you bored and you're looking for the remote control to switch to another channel? They don't know that. But once you have under-the-skin surveillance, you can know that. Because emotions and feelings are biological phenomena, just like fever. The same technology, if you wear a biometric bracelet that constantly monitors your body temperature, your heart rate, your blood pressure, and other biometric data, it can know if you have fever, but it can also know if you're angry, or if you're joyful, or if you're bored. It's all
because yes, and because this technology makes no real differentiation between the different aspects of what it can read about you, surely if we give up our right to privacy when it comes to our health, we are going to, in the end, give up our privacy when it comes to our thoughts and feelings as well.
Maybe in a couple of decades, when people look back, the thing they will remember from the COVID crisis is this is the moment when everything went digital. This was the moment when everything became monitored. I think that the big process that's happening right now in the world is hacking human beings, the ability to hack humans, to understand deeply what's happening within you, what makes you go. COVID is critical because this is what convinces people to accept, to legitimize total biometric surveillance. If we want to stop this epidemic, we need not just to monitor people, we need to monitor what's happening under their skin. But exactly the same technology can determine what you think about the government. You know, anger is a biological phenomena just like disease. It's not some spiritual thing out there.
And there you heard it first, man. Okay, you heard it first right there. Let me get back to the video. My history. Right, so you have that guy right there, right? Some Jewish dude But this guy is, up there in the ranks, with all those WEF, WHO, UN type of people. And, he's got power. And here it is. He's talking about how, hey, we got to get ready because what the government, the totalitarian government wants to push is complete surveillance over the people. And with that surveillance, we can do outside of the skin right now, but we want to transition to under the skin. And he was going into how that implies that we're going to be able to tell exactly what you're feeling and what you're thinking, even down to the point of what you're going to do in the future based on repetitive actions. And I've actually seen a little example of that in these new electric cars, right? These new electric cars, if you sync up your Apple Maps or Google Maps, you'll realize that whenever you get in the car, okay, on your screen, it will pull up the maps. And on certain cars like Hondas, on the screen, when you hop, let's say you hop in the car at your house at a specific time, just because you enter at that specific time, it's going to give you the GPS to where you normally go at that time. So let's say work, right? And let's say you get off at work for lunch at 11 and you normally go to McDonald's. Right when you get off the car and you get off work, you get in the car already has the GPS without you putting it to McDonald's. Right? So the reason they're able to do these things is through, looking at all the data and finding patterns. And one thing they're eventually going to do is find patterns when it comes to so-called terroristic threats and attacks. And they're going to look at people's emotions and say, oh, this guy's inhibiting or exhibiting these type of emotions which are indicative of a terroristic attack. We have to get him before he does it. Right? And that right there, would be their justification. Even though the man hasn't done anything at all, and those signals can be completely wrong. Right? So you can see how they can twist this, whichever way they want. And ultimately, what it is full control over the people. Okay? This is the mark of the beast. Okay? The chip under the hand or in the head. That no man might buy or sell without it. Right? That's what it is the mark. So that means full control over the people. And the reason why these people are so adamant on pushing this is because they have that God complex. Okay, when you go into the description of Esau in Obadiah, this is Obadiah chapter 1 and verse 3. It says, the pride of thine heart hath deceived thee, thou that dwellest in the clefts of the rock, whose habitation is high, that saith in his heart, who shall bring me down? Right? So these Edomites are so prideful that they think that nobody can stop them, not even the Most High. And they're going to go to lengths and extents of trying to be like the Most High. Okay, they have that God complex. We can read that in Isaiah chapter 14 and verse 13. It says, start at verse 12, it says, how art thou fallen from heaven, O Lucifer, son of the morning? How art thou cut down to the ground, which didst weaken the nations? And a lot of people, when they read Lucifer, they think it's talking about the son of Satan. And, it's not actually talking about that. Okay, and when you read Lucifer, it means light bearer. That's what that word means in the Hebrew. It means light bearer, which means somebody that has the light, okay, the way. And ultimately, he's talking about the elites of this world. Okay, those are the Luciferians. Okay, that's why they're called the Illuminati. Right, the illuminated ones, the light bearers. Okay, so when it says, how art thou fallen from heaven, it's going into how these elites are going to fall from their high status and ultimately going to lose all the power that they have. It says, for thou hast said in thine heart, I will ascend into heaven, I will exalt my throne above the stars of God, I will sit also upon the mount of the congregation in the sides of the north. I will ascend above the heights of the clouds. I will be like the Most High. Right? So that's the reason they're pushing this technology. and they're going down this route is because they want to be like the Most High. They want to be like Yahweh that controls everything and can do whatever he wants. Okay, and Esau is gonna, he's gonna get real close to achieving all his goals. But right when he is about to fill his belly, okay, the Lord is gonna have him in straits. We can read that scripture in Job chapter 20 and verse 23. It says, when he is about to fill his belly, God shall cast the fury of his wrath upon him and shall rain it upon him while he is eating. Right? So right when they're about to, fulfill all their plans, okay, the Lord is going to put that trump card. Okay, he's going to come back and ultimately destroy these Edomites. Okay, another one that goes into this is Job chapter 20 verse 22. It says, in the fullness of his sufficiency he shall be in straits. Every hand of the wicked shall come upon him. Right? Oh, that's actually just the same scripture. Right? So, in the fullness of his sufficiency, he shall be in straits. Going into, right, when he's at the max of, he's about to, he's got majority of people chipped up, he's going to be in straits going into in hard conditions. Because Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai is going to come back to destroy all this. Okay, and, it's so crazy that, this guy has came out publicly talking about how, yup, this is the plan. This is what we want to do. He said, I hope it happens. They want to get everybody tripped up. And here it is, you got people like, Bishop Nate from IUIC, different Israelite camps talking about how, the mark of the beast is not the chip. Just completely lost, completely lost, and not even, having the wisdom or the eyesight to be able to see that the only thing that it fits is the chip, right? Nothing else fits that description of in the hand or the forehead, and that you can't buy or sell without it. So, a lot of judgment is about to start, raining it down upon these people. And as it says, it's going to start first at the house of God, going into the believers, those that know. So, get right, get on point, because, the world can literally change in just a matter of months, weeks, and days. Right? I think it was a saying by Vladimir Lenin. He went into how there are decades where, he said there are decades where, let me just search it up, man. I don't want to butcher it. Right. There are decades where nothing happens, and there are weeks where decades happen. Okay, so in just a little bit of time, everything can turn up. So, stay on point. Hopefully this is edifying. With that, I want to give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem, Rakak Wadash, and double honors to the elder bishops and apostles of Great Millstone that taught me this truth. Shalom, see you elect. Shalom.